recently I had the chance to direct my very first short film. Usually I'm the guy behind the camera, so this was a strange and quite stressful experience for me. But I learned a lot along the way, and I think we managed to make a fine short film. In this video I would like to share some of the things I learned, so let's get started. First lesson is about location. A great location can elevate your film in two ways. First way is that location can serve as an inspiration for your film. I attended this 2-week intensive short film school, and we had to come up with film ideas. Several of them actually, and I really struggled with that. I couldn't come up with anything good, right up until we went on a trip. It was this huge research complex in the far north, located right in the mountain range. It was long abandoned, and it's like time stood still there. And it was so easy to get inspired there. I'm a huge sucker for post-apocalyptic stories, and images from Stalker and The Last of Us and The Walking Dead just came rushing to my head. And there was this one particular hallway. I stood there and I just saw the film. It's like I saw the first scene of the movie in my head, and the rest was easy. The very same day I came up with a script, I wrote it up, I got some feedback, changed a few things, made a pitch deck, and the next day I won the pitching. And after a brief period of celebration, I realized that, oh my god, we actually have to shoot this film now. So that's the first great thing about location. It can serve as an inspiration to you. But the second point is that when you shoot a low-budget film, a great location can really elevate the production value of your film. I mean, even high-budget post-apocalyptic stories often don't look real, they look artificial. And this place is as real as it gets. I mean, no matter how big your art department is, there's just no substitute for the real thing. And when you are directing a student film or basically a no-budget film, a great location can help the audience believe in the reality of what's happening on the screen. So exploring unusual and remote location can be very fruitful. Not only can you find your next film's idea there, you can also find a place to shoot that hasn't been shot before. A place that looks realistic because it is real. And later I actually found out that my film was the first short film shot on Kola's super deep borehole site. So look for great locations that can help elevate your film. The second lesson is about directing. What is a director really? I only had a vague notion about what directors actually do on set. It was very unusual and uncomfortable experience for me because director on set actually doesn't do anything. I mean physically. Usually I'm holding the camera, moving lights, setting up equipment, etc. And as a director, your number one responsibility is to answer questions, because a director is a person with all the answers, who doesn't actually do anything, but everybody else who's doing stuff is asking director for directions. You're supposed to know how props should look, how actors should act, what kind of camera movement you want, what kind of angle you want, which room in this huge research facility should we shoot in. What should be the color of main character's sweater? Basically, because you hold the story in your head, every department asks you how the film should look, and you should have the answers. And it's actually not as easy as it sounds. So directing is a stressful job. The next function of a director is leadership. Like my first AD said, director is like a Wi-Fi router, and everybody on set is connected to you. So it's your job to inspire and lead people you work with. But it's important to understand that whatever vibe you are giving off, everybody else picks up on it very fast. For example, there was this one moment when the main prop of the film broke right in the actor's hands. And I panicked hard because we didn't have any adhesive, we didn't have anything to fix it with. So I panicked because I thought this is the end, we can't shoot the film. The film is dead because we can't fix this, and what are we gonna do? I had huge eyes, I grabbed my head and started looking around, and I saw that everybody else is picking up that vibe and everybody else is starting to panic. And another time at the end of the shoot, I got distracted, sort of lost in the shooting schedule, and I had this unfocused look to me. And again, I saw that everybody else on set is mirroring my state of mind. So I learned the hard way that it is extremely important to be mindful of the vibes you are giving out. As your crew's Wi-Fi router, you should give out only positive and confident vibes, even if you don't feel that way inside. You should be clear and concise about what you want from your crew, but also be supportive and let them do their thing. If you manage to stay positive, focused and ready to problem solve, your team will likely do their best job. Initially, I envisioned my film as sort of a Tarkovsky homage, with long takes and static camera angles and slow creeping push-ins. So when we arrived at location and my DP started to shoot everything handheld, basically gunning my static film, I was sort of puzzled, but I decided to go with it. And later, when we shot the film, I realized that he made the right call, and this faster way of shooting was actually the only way we could finish our shooting schedule, because we only had one day to shoot this whole film. And then I realized that my DP was experienced enough to see this, and that he went with this shooting style not as an artistic choice, but just as a common sense thing. He basically knew that this was the only way to shoot this film in one day, and I'm really glad I trusted him. Yeah, the film turned out to be more of an action film than some sort of philosophical parable that I planned initially, but nevertheless I'm really satisfied with what we have shot. And really, I couldn't be more grateful to the team of people I made this film with. It was really a team effort, and somehow I managed to inspire everybody, and it turned out better than I dared to expect. Who knows if I'll ever get to direct another film, but I know that I will do my best to inspire my crew and rely on them and trust them to do their best work. Like I said, we only had one day to shoot this film, and we had 2 days to prepare for the shooting day. I think those 3 days were some of the longest days of my life. I never worked so much in a single day. And still we barely managed to prepare everything. The props, the transportation, the shooting schedule, the logistics of it all. It was crazy actually. In 2 days we found actors, we found animals, we found costumes, we built props with our hands. We arranged transportation, food, gear. Everything had to be thought of in advance. Prep is extremely important, and the tighter your shooting schedule is, the more you have to prep. Every major problem should be already solved by the time you arrived on set. If you've done your prep correctly, then as a director, the only thing you have to do on set is direct actors, because everything else has been taken care of prior to shooting. Planning and prepping is part of my character. I'm not the kind of guy that believes in improvisation. Uncertainty scares me, and the more I prepare, the more confident I feel, and the less stressed I am, the better job I can do in the end. So, in case of this short film, I'm really happy we managed to plan it the right way. I really believe that it's the reason how we managed to shoot this pretty complicated film all in one day. Well, this has been my first experience directing a short film. I hope you found this helpful in some way. Next time, I'll dive into some of the technical problems and difficulties that we encountered on set and how we solved them. But for now, that's all I have. Thanks for watching and goodbye.